Hi, my name is Adwoa, and in this episode, we're going to look at the unspoken rules that govern how you succeed at work. Yes, there are unspoken rules to getting into a job, but once you get into a job, there are also unspoken rules as to how to survive and thrive as a professional. I sadly have to admit I did not learn these rules throughout my career, but I'm excited to learn them now and pass them on. So the information is
from Gorrick Ng, who is the Wall Street Journal best-selling author of the aptly named book, The Unspoken Rules, Secrets to Starting Your Career Off Right. Gorrick Ng is a career advisor at Harvard College. He specializes in coaching first-generation low-income students. But what I love about this guy is he's got real heart, and there's this real mission and passion for him to help others who are in situations like him. He would learn the hard way how to succeed, and so he's put all these ideas, all these experiences, and it's not just his ideas, but he's interviewed like hundreds and hundreds of people, and importantly managers and senior people. And so what the senior folks are looking for is what he then has put down in this book. And so if you're starting out, this is the place to start, because he unveils for you the steps that the framework within which you have to operate to be successful and to thrive at work. So the take-home message for how to succeed at work is that employers want someone who comes to the table with solutions rather than just problems.
Okay, we've had a problem here. We've had a problem.
You identify a problem, that's fantastic, but then what are the ways to solve it? You want to present that to your employer all the time, not just once in a while. What do you think about this tip from Gorrick? What issues or concerns or misgivings do you have around it? And also, doing your job is only part of your job. There's a stylistic difference between how high performers and those that succeed, how they approach their job versus those that fail, how they approach their job. And so keep in mind that you want to be finding solutions to problems at work in order to thrive, in order to succeed.
so when you're at school, you are like on a conveyor belt. As long as you meet the requirements, the outline requirements, you get to the finish line. There is no requirement to own the problem in the sense of taking responsibility for understanding as well as solving the problem. We tend to rely generally on teachers and lecturers to provide clarification. In the workforce, this is not the case. You must own the problem and find a solution. Finding the solution means literally taking responsibility for identifying the steps that you need to take to solve the problem. For example, in everyday life, if you have to take a bus or flight from one area to another, you do the research to make sure that it happens. However, at school or uni, there's generally an outline of information that's given to you. It's expected to be provided. But once you enter the workforce, this expectation for information to be provided must be unlearned, because they are now paying you to do the work. Think about it. At school, you were paying. So, of course, information was provided for you to make sure you succeed. At work, this is not the case. The situation is reversed. So if you don't learn quickly that now the responsibility is on you to identify the steps to solving problems, and if you have questions, lingering questions, to also ask the right questions to get it clarified, then long-term, your performance at work is going to be very poor. It's your responsibility to know what you need to know to get the job done. And if you know you have no idea how to do it, then you will be obviously having to do the background work, constant work to make sure that you identify where the gaps are. It's a little bit tricky because at school you're actually trained to wait for information, to wait for the next step. You're told when things are expected, when things are due, and you have some ladder as to how to operate. This will not necessarily be there at work over time. When you first start work, your first week, of course, your second week, your third week, but then you really have to understand that people are now expecting you to contribute as time passes independently without them feeding you the information. The 3 C's, this is what Gorrick brings out as critical for your success in your career, your chosen career. You have to be committed. You have to be competent, of course. And you also have to be compatible with the group that you find yourself in. And he advises, obviously, competence. You can work on that through keeping on top of the skills and knowledge that you need, the techniques that you need. Compatibility is something that can be a bit tricky, and he rightly acknowledges that, for people of certain backgrounds, you may just find that you don't have a lot in common just on the surface with the people around you. But he advises that you can find ways that you are compatible. So that really requires you to work at it a little bit more. And commitment, obviously, how into the job you are and how are you able, once again, to really put the needs of the group, the company, the organization that you are part of, put it into perspective and put it ahead of your own interests in terms of contributing and helping. What do you think about this tip from Gorrick? What issues or concerns or misgivings do you have around it? Yes, the people around you, your colleagues, your boss, they are sizing you up. They're seeing how competent you are. They're seeing how compatible you are. And they are seeing how committed you are. Well, I hope these unspoken rules do not come as too much of a shock. But even if it does, I know that by processing it and by applying it, you'll be in a way better position to succeed and to thrive at work than if you were ignorant of it. So, all the best with your career and God bless you. Bye.